Chapter 4. Vision of Vāsavāmbika in Kuruvapuram. We three wanted to do meditation in accordance with the instructions of Sri Palaniswami. Sri Palaniswami said, "My dear Madhava, my dear Shankara, let all the three of us meditate. We can then discuss about our spiritual experiences felt during meditation. As this is the order of Sri Vallabha, we will definitely have the experience of some spiritual turning point in the future. In the future, the Christian calendar will be in use. According to the Christian calendar, today, Friday, May 25th, 1336, is a completely propitious day with high yogic powers. This day will be of special significance in our lives. I will leave my physical body here and go to Kuruvapuram in my subtle body. It is a child's play for me to roam in 4 or 5 places at the same time in my subtle form. We will all remain in the meditation of Sripada Sri Vallabha. When his permission is granted, I will reach Kuruvapuram in my subtle body." On hearing the words of Palaniswami, I wondered and said, "Swami, Madhava saw the divine auspicious form of Sri Vallabha. You are always in communion with Sri Vallabha in subtle planes, but I know only his name, but not his form. How can I meditate upon him?" Palaniswami smiled and said, "My boy, if you have devotion for Sripada, everything can be achieved. A tortoise protects its offspring with thought waves, even if they are left at a very faraway place. A cat carries its kitten from one house to another, keeping them in its mouth. It will keep them in a place that it considered safe. In the same way at first, he will rule his devotees with the tortoise offspring justice. After some progress, he will rule them with cat offspring justice. Later, they will be ruled with monkey offspring justice initially. Here, there is the necessity of the offspring to hold on to its mother with effort. After some more advancement, the devotees behave like the small fish which roam freely behind their mother wherever it goes. When you sit for meditation, he will give darshan to you." Sri Vallabha wanted to take an important decision for the future. So, he wanted me to go over to Kuruvapuram in my subtle body on this momentous day. As soon as I receive his orders during meditation, I will at once proceed to Kuruvapuram. Some important incident is going to take place there. Lord Sri Datta has granted me the unique opportunity of witnessing that event completely with my eyes. Saying so, he went into meditation. Madhava and myself also took to meditation soon after. Meditation went on like this for 10 gadiyas. All of us became our normal selves, curiously at the same time. After meditation, Sri Palaniswami was in very high spirits. Madhava and I requested Sri Palaniswami to narrate his experience during meditation. He narrated it with all smiles in the following manner. "How fortunate are the people living in this Kali Yuga! Kuruvapuram is a small village. A Vedic scholar and pious Brahmin named Shiva Sarma, who recognized the greatness of Sripada, was living there along with his wife Ambika. Theirs was the only Brahmin family in Kuruvapuram. Daily he used to cross the river and earn money through acts appropriate for Brahmins to eke out a living. After making some money, he used to return to Kuruvapuram. He belonged to the lineage of sage Kasyapa. Shiva Sarma was a great scholar, a strict adherent of religious practices, and belonged to the Yajurveda 3 sect. All his earlier children died within a very short time after birth. At last, one son survived. Unfortunately, he was a dullard and a blockhead. Shiva Sarma became weak and sick as a skeleton due to the distress caused by the useless child. One day he recited Veda in the presence of Sri Vallabha, and afterwards stood silent. Sri Sripada noticed the sorrow in his mind, and with a gentle smile said, "Shiva Sarma, I am a slave to those who forget all worries and constantly meditate upon me. Tell me about your desire." For that Shiva Sarma said, "Swami, I wished that my son should become a greater scholar and orator than me. All my aspirations became futile. My son became an incorrigible idiot. Being omnipotent, it is not difficult for you to make him a learned and useful person. I leave it to your kind will." Sripada averred, "My dear, nobody can escape the fruits of his past deeds. The entire creation is moving subject to unbreakable laws. A woman gets her husband as the fruit of her worship. She gets children as the fruit of donations made by her. One should always donate to deserving people. Donations made to unworthy persons bring undesirable results. If food is offered to a good-natured person, the donor of food derives some part of the merit accruing from the good deeds performed by the good person. Donation should be made without arrogance, then only it gives good results. On account of the past karma, you got a dull-witted one as your son. You couple wanted a child with a long span of life. You did not want a short-lived child. So I granted you a son with a complete span of life, according to the rule of karma. To make him a suitable scholar, by destroying his previous life sins, you will have to sacrifice your life. If you are prepared to sacrifice your life, I will make your son a worthy scholar." For that Shiva Sarma replied, "Swami, I entered old age. I am ready to sacrifice my life. What more can I wish than my son becomes a great scholar and speaker like Brihaspati?" Then the omnipotent Sripada declared, "Yes, you will die soon. After death, you will remain for some time in the subtle body and undertake penance in an underground cave at the foot of a neem tree in Disila town. Afterwards, you will take birth in the holy land of Maratha. Do not reveal this to your wife under any circumstances." Shiva Sarma died soon. Ambika, along with her son, were begging for food and were living a miserable life. There was no end to the taunts and remarks of ridicule by the neighbors. That Brahmin youth could not bear the derisive remarks of the people. He ran towards the river to commit suicide. His helpless mother also wanted to end her life, and she also ran after him. As a fruit of their previous birth's merit, Sripada saw them on the way. He dissuaded them from their suicide attempt. With his boundless compassion, he converted the foolish boy to an erudite scholar by his mere will. He instructed Ambika to spend the rest of her life worshipping Shiva. He expatiated at length the result obtained from worshipping Shiva at the time of sunset on Saturdays. He granted her a boon that in her next birth she would be blessed with a son who is equal to him in all respects. However, as there was no one equal to him in all the three worlds, he himself resolved to be born as her son in her ensuing birth. My dear, Shri Charan's incredible Leelawan took place in my presence today. That is, Friday, May 25th, 1336. Vasavi's manifestation and her story. Fortuitously, I took a bath in the Krishna river along with Lord Sripada. After the bath, Sripada created Yogagni too with his Atma Shakti. In that Yogagni, Kanyakamba manifested with a wonderful Agni-like complexion. For many days I tried to have darshan of Vasavi Kanyakamba, the sister of Sripada Srivallabha. But for some unknown reason, she was not giving me darshan. I prostrated myself at the feet of Ambika. A smiling Srivallabha was looking very pleased. The mother Sri Vasavi resembled exactly Srivallabha. Anyone who sees them will think that they both are twins. In that great Kuruvapuram kshetra, no one else except Sripada, Mother Vasavi, and I were there. Srivallabha's yoga leelas are endless. I was wondering in my mind where the town of Disila was and how it was possible for the dead Shiva Sharma to do penance with only a subtle body. Srivallabha said, "There is no limit for yoga shakti. The yogic paths of Lord Datta are very strange, ever new, unheard of before and unthinkable." After some time, a couple manifested with divine glow from that Yogagni. Srivallabha told me that they were the father and mother of Mother Sri Vasavi, named Kusuma Sresti and Kusumbi. Mother Sri Vasavi was in meditation posture for some time. From the yogic fire generated by Sripada Srivallabha, Sri Nagareshwara Swami manifested. After that, the brother of Sri Vasavi, Virupaksha, and the Gomathas belonging to 102 Gotras who did Agni Pravesham emerged from Yogagni. Sri Vallabha said pleasingly, "Virupaksha was born with the Amsa of Nandiswar, and I put my Amsa also in him." My maternal grandfather, Sri Bapanna Vadanulu, who invoked the power from Surya Mandalam into the Sri Saila Mallikarjuna Lingam, lived in his previous birth in Brihatsila Nagaram with the name of Bhaskara, and was the preceptor to the king. He was born with the Amsa of Brahma. On the full moon day in the month of Sravana, I will definitely come to Brihatsila Nagaram. My sister Sri Vasavi Kanyakamba will tie Rakhi to my hand. My dear Palani, my deeds, plays, and great events cannot be done by anybody. Nobody can imitate them. Nobody can get my power. As the fruit of your intense penance, you could have the darshan of Siddha Vaishyas, Mother Vasavi, and our parents Kusuma Sresti and Kusumbi. Now this Kuruvapuram is going to become a big palace. Look! Wonderful, surprising, a great king's palace was created by mere will. We were all seated in simhasanas studded with diamonds. Sri Charana said, "Gomathas belong to 714 Gotras. The couples who entered Agni, along with Ambika, belong to only 102 Gotras. During the times of Swaruchi Shamanu, there were 18 towns devoted to Lord Ishvara, the most important one being Brihatsila Nanaram. If any one of you who are devotees of Datta has darshan of Ambika, Nagareswar and other gods in Brihatsila Nagaram, you will get special merit. Wherever Datta's name is chanted, Mother Vasavi will live there incognito. She will fulfill the desires. Wherever Vasavi Kanyakamba's name is remembered, their Datta will live incognito. With small effort, great merit is granted. In Krita Yuga, people were following the truth and were siddhas. In Treta Yuga, sacrifices like yagnas and yagas were in vogue. In Dwapara Yuga, mantra shastra was prevalent. In this Kali Yuga, Tantra Shastra is given special importance. Tantra means spreading the Chaitanyam. The root cause of this entire creation is myself. All the 33 crores of gods, all the living beings, and endless millions of worlds are within me. And because of myself, they become dynamic, and because of my presence, will have different kinds of powers. The ultimate refuge of all the rivers is the ocean. Whichever god is worshipped, the worship reaches me. If I am worshipped, one will get the fruit of worshipping all gods. The worlds that manifest coming out of my Parabrahma Tattvam are my images only. The thing coming out of my Parabrahma Tattvam as the universe is my image only. There is no difference between me and my image. The thing in the form of Adi Parashakti is myself only. Jaganmatha 1 is the symbol of endless compassion, and Jagatpita 2 is the symbol of strict divine justice. My fatherly form decides and strictly implements the inevitable consequences of karmas. My motherly form will show compassion and pity on devotees who have surrendered to me. Even if the child does a great mistake, the mother takes it as a small one. Even if a small good deed is done, the mother will give great fruit in return. Learn that I am the father, mother and guru for all this creation. I decided to remove the doubt lingering in your mind. You have a doubt on how Vasavi has become my sister. Previously, when I was born to Atri and Anasuya, while Anasuya was swinging me in the swing, she thought, all are male children only. Not even one girl child was born with the cute features of Datta. As she was a great pativrata, and her desire was very intense, it materialized immediately. The Paratattvam is beyond the male and female forms. When I am in the form of a man, I am called Datta. When I am in the form of a woman, I am called Adi Parashakti. That is why the Vedic scholars said, Sri Krishna Shamala Devi and Sri Ramo Lalithambika. The rays emanating from my gross form will make the places where I move to be sacred. My subtle body will be pervading the whole earth. My causal body will be pervading millions and millions of universes. My Maha-causal body is in the form of Sat Chit Ananda. It remains in rest, immersed in Brahmananda. In all these four states, my consciousness works simultaneously. No one can get me through any type of japa 3 or tapa 4 or yogic practices or any other method. One can get me only through my special grace. Even those sacred people who had merged in me will have to take birth with gross bodies on different occasions according to my will and perform my tasks. Jaganmatha 1 is the symbol of endless compassion, and Jagatpita 2 is the symbol of strict divine justice. My fatherly form decides and strictly implements the inevitable consequences of karmas. My motherly form will show compassion and pity on devotees who have surrendered to me. Even if the child does a great mistake, the mother takes it as a small one. Even if a small good deed is done, the mother will give great fruit in return. Learn that I am the father, mother and guru for all this creation. I decided to remove the doubt lingering in your mind. You have a doubt on how Vasavi has become my sister. Previously, when I was born to Atri and Anasuya, while Anasuya was swinging me in the swing, she thought, all are male children only. Not even one girl child was born with the cute features of Datta. As she was a great pativrata, and her desire was very intense, it materialized immediately. The Paratattvam is beyond the male and female forms. When I am in the form of a man, I am called Datta. When I am in the form of a woman, I am called Adi Parashakti. That is why the Vedic scholars said, Sri Krishna Shamala Devi and Sri Ramo Lalithambika. The rays emanating from my gross form will make the places where I move to be sacred. My subtle body will be pervading the whole earth. My causal body will be pervading millions and millions of universes. My Maha-causal body is in the form of Sat Chit Ananda. It remains in rest, immersed in Brahmananda. In all these four states, my consciousness works simultaneously. No one can get me through any type of japa 3 or tapa 4 or yogic practices or any other method. One can get me only through my special grace. Even those sacred people who had merged in me will have to take birth with gross bodies on different occasions according to my will and perform my tasks. Anaga Lakshmi 5, who is the combined form of three Shaktis, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati, is my Shakti form. She is in the left half of my body, and in the right half of my body, my Trimurti 6 form is there, which is the combined form of the three gunas. All this creation is present inside me. Creation, protection, amalgamation, retreat, and gracefulness all keep happening relentlessly. Every particle is the solidified form of letters. All the letters have vibrations, and they are all mantras. This form of sound, which has vibration, is the form of Mahasaraswati. The power solidified is the form of Mahalakshmi. The power embedded in that is the form of Mahakali. If I am Shakti 8 now, I will be the Shakta 9 the next moment. Jaganmatha is the symbol of endless compassion, and Jagatpita is the symbol of strict divine justice. My fatherly form decides and strictly implements the inevitable consequences of karmas. My motherly form will show compassion and pity on devotees who have surrendered to me. Even if the child does a great mistake, the mother takes it as a small one. Even if a small good deed is done, the mother will give great fruit in return. Learn that I am the father, mother, and guru for all this creation. I decided to remove the doubt lingering in your mind. You have a doubt on how Vasavi has become my sister. Previously, when I was born to Atri and Anasuya, while Anasuya was swinging me in the swing, she thought, all are male children only. Not even one girl child was born with the cute features of Datta. As she was a great pativrata and her desire was very intense, it materialized immediately. When the swing moved to one side, the form of Datta was seen, and when the swing returned, the form of Vasavi was seen by her. While she was wondering whether it was a dream or Vaishnava Maya, Atri Maharshi came and said, Anasuya, after doing hard penance, to know the real form, which was the source of Trimurtis, 6 with the 3 qualities, we could have Datta as our child. I realized that this was the Guru form, which was the source of the Trimurtis. This indeed is the form of Lord Narayana. When the same form takes the female form, it becomes Kanyaka, which is nothing but Adi Parashakti, 7. They both had been brother and sister from the beginning of creation. Oh, what a wonder! Then he was immersed in meditation and saw my form as the concentrated consciousness. He also saw that this was the form of Ambika also. He also understood that it was decided by me that before manifesting as Sripada Srivalabha, I should come as Yoga Maya and take the form of Vasavi Kanyi. On the request of Atri and Anasuya, our forms got separated and Ambika tied Raki At to me. The form which was born as Datta to Atri and Anasuya is the same Sripada Srivalabha in Kali Yuga. This form, existing before the manifestation of all the other forms of Datta, will be hidden. The form of Adi Parashakti, existing before all her other manifestations, is the same as the Vasavi Kanyakamba form. So that form also is hidden in Agnitatvam. The Dharma of man and the Dharma of God are different. To see this auspicious form of Ambika, one should earn great merit. There is a reason to call all of you here today. My form, being endless supreme consciousness, is not bound in any form or name. I decided to stay in a still form, like the limitless dynamic ocean without waves. There is no difference to me whether I am in a form or I am formless. So, I decided to hide this form starting today. Let me know your wish and opinion. I felt unhappy to see Sripada's form being hidden so early. Mother Vasavi, in the divine, auspicious form, looked at Sri Vallabha with praying looks and said, My most revered brother, as there is no difference to you in being formless or having a dynamic, vibrant form, please remain in this Sripada Sri Vallabha form for some more time, and then you can hide it. Have mercy on real aspirants, so that they will be able to see this divine, auspicious form. Keep this form hidden from the gross without having any difference between places and times. If you want to take avatar again, you can take a new form and body. In that case, if you wish, you can show grace on your devotees from samadhi when that body rests in samadhi. For that Shripada replied like this, O Vāsavāmbika, the embodiment of all auspicious qualities, may your wish be fulfilled. I will remain in this body of Sripada Srivallabha for 14 more years till I attain 30 years of age. Afterwards, I will disappear. To revive the sannyasa dharma once again, I will take birth as Narasimha Saraswati and remain in that incarnation for 80 years. Afterwards, I will stay in intense penance for 300 years in Kadalivana and conclude my incarnation in Prajnapura under the name Swami Samartha. In the form of avadutas and siddhas, I will perform miracles and incredible sportive plays with my limitless divine virtues and make the people follow the righteous path. Sripada spoke sweetly. After remaining in meditation for some moments, he called Virupaksha and said, My dear Virupaksha, a white man from Germany reached Kurungada, overcoming many difficulties for my darshan. This golden divine palace cannot be seen by others, so he is searching for me. Go and bring him here. I wondered how a white man could come to this place which is difficult to get to. Virupaksha brought that white man. He became extremely happy with the darshan of Sripada Srivallabha. He held Sri Charana's feet and cried heavily. Sripada lifted him up. The nectar of grace was showering from his eyes. Sri Charana's form has limitless power and limitless love. His heart has the love of millions of mothers. Sri Vallabha addressed him as John. He looked into John's eyes with piercing looks. It appeared that he was giving him initiation through the eyes. After some time, he touched John's forehead between the eyebrows. With that sacred touch, John experienced a divine ecstatic plea. Then Swami told all those present there to look into the sky. One big number appeared in the sky with a divine glow and in Devanagari type. He said that it was the Jnana number of Sri Chitragupta. Sri Charana said that the number would become most important in the future centuries. The number is 1704118346046921317316830158415271. Sripada said, This is the number of the universe. The meaning and the inner meaning of this number will be understood by people who try to understand the nature of matter, according to the levels of their intellectual state. Sripada was talking in Telugu, but John understood it. John was questioning in German language, Sripada was answering him in Telugu. What a wonderful thing! In the vicinity of Sripada, every moment was filled with his plays and miracles. All the knowledge and scholarship are at the feet of Sri Charana. Sri Charana said, When I was speaking in Trilinga language, John understood it in German language. Each word I spoke was being translated into German, and John was able to hear. There is nothing which I cannot do for the sake of my devotees. There is nothing which I cannot lift, and there is no problem which I cannot solve for them. People who believe me by mind, action, and speech, leaving all other dharmas behind, are really blessed people. When my grace is flowing on you, all the other Shaktis in this nature give positive auspicious vibrations. You can take it as my promise. There is nothing which I cannot get in all these 14 bhuvanas. Even if you are following your own righteous path, if you remember my name, I will protect you like the eyelid protects the eye. I am the embodiment of love. You will know me through love only. The star Dhruva is important for the constellation of the 7 rishis. Learn how Dhruva got Dhruva Padam. He did penance for Lord Narayana with a wish to sit in his father's lap. After having darshan of Lord Narayana, he lost the desire to sit in the lap of his mortal father. Lord Narayana gave him the place of Dhruva Padam. He also allowed Dhruva to sit in his lap. The Lord of the universe graced Dhruva by allowing Dhruva to sit in his lap, when the child actually desired deeply to sit in his mortal father's lap. In Kali Yuga, Dhruva took birth as Lord Jesus. He believed that God was his father. I will grace you in the same thought in which you worship me. Sri Vasavi Kanyakamba gave her power to Maria, the sacred soul. Dhruva was born as Lord Jesus to Maria, even when she was a virgin. Jesus Christ was not born by the physical union of father and mother. Know that Jesus Christ repeatedly called Sriman Narayana as his father. Sriman Narayana is none other than Sripada Sri Vallabha, who is present in front of you. Oh, Siddha Vaishyamunis 10. Chant the Vedas in the presence of my sister Vāsavāmbika. With the sound of your sacred chanting of Vedas, the result of bad deeds of people in the coming centuries can be destroyed. Sri Nagareswara and Vāsavāmbika like the chanting of Vedas very much. The white man, who is in our presence by chance, will be born in the next birth in the house of good Brahmins, who are Veda scholars, in the Himalayan region. He will become a yogi and will reach Shambhala village. You drive away the evil powers present in the polluted air with the sound of sacred Vedas. Thus, Sripada told them. Siddha Vaishya Muni's Veda Ghosha was completed. Srivasavi Kanyakambika, Sri Nagareswara, Virupaksha, the Kusuma Sresti couple, and Siddha Vaishya Munis entered the Agni and disappeared. Sripada Vallabha blessed John. John said, "It is good to have a book on Sri Charana's life history." Swami replied, "In the coming centuries, in accordance with your wish, Sripada Sri Vallabha Charitamrutam will come in German language also." He assured John and sent him. He ordered me to enter the gross body again. Saying so, he went to take a bath in the confluence of waters at Prayag. He disappeared. My dear, today, i.e. Friday, May 25th, 1336, is a sacred day. Shankar, tell me the experience you had in meditation. I said, "Oh, most respected Sri Palaniswami, when I was meditating I saw a monk in the attire of a Muslim. He was often uttering the sound Allah Malik. He was sitting under a neem tree. He must have been 16 years old. He told an old person who came for his darshan that I am a Nanak Pandi Musalman. To a different person he said, I am a good Brahmin, born in the Bharadwaja lineage. He told another person, this is my Gurusthan, and people who worship here on Thursdays and Fridays will get good luck." Sri Palaniswami, throughout my meditation, I had the darshan of that young sannyasi only. I did not get the darshan of Sripada Srivallabha. Some people came and started digging at a place under the neem tree where that young sannyasi sat. There was a small cave inside. Inside that, 4 lamps were glowing intensely on the 4 sides. After some time, that young sannyasi came there, had the cave opening closed again, and said, "This is my Gurusthan. Nobody should open it." Sri Palaniswami, I did not understand the wish of Sri Vallabha in granting me this type of darshan in meditation. Palaniswami said, "My dear disciples, the nature of Sri Vallabha cannot be imagined. One cannot describe his plays. His wish is to coordinate all the dharmas and traditions in the world and merge them in Sanatan Dharma. He will establish the Sanatan Dharma in the whole universe at the end of Kali Yuga." Sri Charana told John, Yehovah means I am. That is the form of Parabrahman. All the consciousness reflecting in the universe is the consciousness of Jesus Christ, who is popular as the Son of God. The consciousness purified is the same as sacred flowing grace, which gives peace and happiness. All those 3 forms are mine. As a result of your pure love, you could get my darshan, which is very difficult to get otherwise. Similarly, the Yavana Dharma also is an inherent part of the essence of Datta. A Mahatma by the name of Mahamathi was a devotee of formless Makeswar. He used to call God as Allah. He saw all the 7 heavens. He wanted to see Allah, but he saw only his reflection. The Yavana sannyasi you saw was a Brahmin who was born in the lineage of Bharadwaja. He lost his parents during his childhood. He was brought up by a Muslim fakir and learnt Muslim dharmas. He learnt Hindu dharmas by staying with a Hindu Mahatma. He learnt Kriya Yoga from a great yogi in Varanasi. He then met a Datta Avaduta and asked for silver coins. As his tin would not get filled, the Avaduta put 2 khajur fruits in it. Then he was satisfied. With that, the Chaitanyam of Datta flowed into him. Later, he came to Disila Nagaram. It was a small village in a forest area. When he got to the thick forest, Sripada Srivallabha sat on a stone and meditated. If anyone does meditation sitting on that stone, he would get wonderful results. Sripada Srivallabha did tapas for 12 years in the underground house you saw under the neem tree. During those 12 years, he got the power of tapas equivalent to that of doing tapas for 12,000 years. Srivallabha's body got transformed into a 12,000 years old one. The whole cave was occupied by his hair. His eyebrows also became thick. To see his eyes, one would have to lift the eyebrows with difficulty. Sri Charana gave that fruit of tapas to that young sannyasi. When that young monk was about 4 years old, Sri Charana started tapas in that cave in his hidden form. When that sannyasi became 16 years old, he completed 12 years of tapas. My dear, these incidents which I am telling you are going to happen in the coming centuries. They are not the present incidents. Sripada will manifest with the name of Narasimha Saraswati and will be there for 80 years with that name and form. He will later be in deep meditation incognito in Kadali Vanam for 300 years. He will later take the name of Swami Samartha in Prajnapura and will later merge in the Mallikarjuna Lingam in Srisailam. But the Yavana sannyasi whom you saw will also be in an old-aged form. He, Sripada, will put his Chaitanyam in the sannyasi and make him equal to him. My dear Shankar, Sripada Vallabha did intense penance for 12 years in the middle of those 4 Nanda Deepams. He divided the whole universe into 16 parts and illustrated the 4 parts of Brahman as follows. Symbolically, for the 4 parts of Brahman, he lighted those 4 Nanda Deepams with his yogic fire, and he remained in penance. The sides east, west, south, and north are the kalas of the first part. People who worship them will get divine glow. The kalas in the second part are earth, space, sky, and ocean. Those who worship them will become endless and conquer the worlds. The kalas in the third part of Brahman are fire, sun, moon, and electricity. Those who worship them will become lustrous and conquer worlds. The kalas in the fourth part are life, eye, ear, and mind. Those who worship them will become established in them. Moreover, one gets knowledge if the north side is conquered. If the south is conquered, he will not have problems from Bhuta, Preta, and Pisachams. If the east is conquered, one gets wealth, and if the west is conquered, the king becomes favorable. If one conquers all the 4 sides, he will get Digvijayam. Sripada Vallabha has the sides as his clothes. He is spread to the endlessness of all the sides, so he is called Digambara 10. Sri Datta Digambara is the same as Sripada Sri Vallabha Digambara. From the gross, subtle, and causal bodies of Sri Charana, thousands of rays and kalas will be emanating. Some rays become Asamsa 1 avatars. After completing the tasks given to them, they will be merging into the original consciousness, Sripada Sri Vallabha. He would do creation, protection, annihilation, retrogression, and graceful acts simultaneously. The vibrations seen in the creation of worlds are called Shrishti Tattvam. Their preservation and protection is called Stithi Tattvam. Their annihilation is called Laya Tattvam. 4. The returning of those vibrations into their origin is called Tirodhana. 5. The vibrations related to compassion and pity on the jivas are called Anugraham. 7. Men become weaklings with the passage of yugas. 8. Therefore, the Almighty descends to lower states based on the prayers of sages. The incarnation of the Lord in a human body is an indication of his complete grace. This descent of the Lord to lower levels enables humans to obtain excellent results with little effort. Therefore, human beings in Kali Yuga are fortunate. By mere remembrance, the grace of Lord Datta would be available. There are many opportunities for the downfall of man in Kali Yuga. But the number of opportunities for obtaining the grace of Sripada is twofold. This is a sacrosanct truth. Remembrance, adoration, and other activities establish association with Lord Sripada. By these, all the sinful acts, impure sensual influences, and behavioral patterns of the devotees enter into the consciousness of Lord Sripada, and auspicious vibrations enter into his devotees. Sri Charanand destroys those heaps of sins and black auras which entered into his consciousness by taking a single dip in a holy river, or he will burn them into ashes in the blazing fire of his yoga. He will personally do penance and dedicate the fruits of that penance to his devotees. Thus, he protects the devotees without violating the principle of karma. If necessary, he commands the inert karmic nature and grants liberation for those who take refuge in his auspicious feet. He destroys karma for the welfare of his devotees every second in a very ferocious form. Therefore, those who surrender to his feet get freedom from the shackles of karma, even without being aware of it. When Palaniswami explained facts in the above manner, I was bold to ask him a question regarding a doubt that had cropped up in my mind. Swami, I heard that when Saturn afflicts for 7.5 years, even Shankara, too, cannot escape from the trouble. Pray tell me how Sri Guru Sarvabhauma III wards off afflictions from planets. My dear Shankara, the planets in the zodiac do not have friendship or enmity towards living beings. When a person is born, the planetary positions form according to his past karma. He derives good and evil effects according to the movement of the planets. When the subtle rays from the planets cause ill effects, and mantra, tantra, yantra remedies cannot abate them, one has to resort to japa, tapa, and homa practices. When they also cannot alleviate the suffering, one has to take refuge in the padakas of Sri Guru. Sripada is omnipotent. Good and evil forces also exist. The vibrations of those good and evil forces cause good and bad developments respectively. Each planet has a dominance on a particular part of the human anatomy. When planetary afflictions take place, the relevant part of the human body ruled by the adverse planet becomes sick. Undesirable results follow when the subtle vibrations flowing from the universal consciousness are received. Variations take place in the attraction and repulsion caused by the vibrations. A person who is hitherto in good company suddenly will be subjected to ill effects, like bad company, friendship with low-class people, unreasonable quarrels, loss of relatives, disputes with family members, and reduction in the power of personal attraction. The universal forces create vibrations continuously. They work steadily in a state of sthiti for some time in the concerned persons. After some time, they leave those persons and reach the bodies of persons who are destined to come under their influence. They begin to give results again according to the rotation of the wheel of time. People who are devotees of God and observe spiritual practices like japa and tapa can get some respite to some extent from the planet's rigor. Sages conduct various kinds of sacrifices for the universal welfare. They dedicate their spiritual power derived through tapas for the well-being of humanity. As a result of this practice, harmful influences arising in the universe revert back to their origin instead of harassing men. It means that they return to the center of their origin. This can be termed as tiradana. Granting of abundant, auspicious results, even for small amount of good deeds, is called grace. My son, I explained to you the concepts of srushti, sthiti, laya, tiradana, and anugraha, according to the doctrine of Kriya Yoga. In future, the powers of Sripada Srivallabha will flow in a large measure in the Muslim fakir you saw in your meditation. You saw 4 Nanda lamps in the underground cellar beneath the neem tree. This is an extraordinary matter. Sripada Srivallabha granted you this experience with a great intention in mind. He only knows the inner purpose of it. His divine acts are indeed supe. They have a very deep purpose. Moreover, they may be divine secrets not to be divulged to others. I can only explain to you to the extent he permitted me. The entire creation works under the guidance of Sripada Srivallabha. He is the authority for himself. The glorious yogic powers of the master of this universe are immeasurable and cannot be comprehended in terms of measurements, limits, and quantities. My mind immensely rejoiced at the explanation of Sri Palaniswami. From the time I started from the Udupi area 4 till I reached Kuruvapuram, many wonderful and strange things were taking place. I wanted to write a book about them and obtain the permission of the Sri Guru Sarvabhauma. I wanted to request Sripada in this regard. After getting his darshan, Sri Palaniswami grasped the feelings in my mind easily and said, I have understood the ideas in your mind. You want to write his history for the benefit of devotees of the future. Sripada Srivallabha will surely bless your effort. Then Sri Palaniswami asked Madhava to speak about his. Madhava said, Mahatma, I saw in my meditation a Brahmin sannyasi wearing a loincloth. He used to worship Agni and the sun. He was talking to a Veda Pandit. I want to send this coconut you gave me to the Muslim fakir. That Muslim fakir is in a higher state than me. He is like an elder brother to me. He knows past, present, and future. I will take the treatise written on palm leaves named Sripada Srivallabha Charitamritam, present with you. I will give it to the Muslim fakir, whom I revere as my elder brother. I will take his blessings. Are the things narrated in this true or fictitious? I will decide on how much truth is in there and how much fiction is in there. After deciding about it, I will write a treatise analyzing them. Then the Veda Pandit said, Sir, you will not be able to take the coconut I gave you to that Muslim fakir. Your effort will definitely be a waste. The Charitamrutam had already been written. It happened by the will of Srivallabha. This treatise named Sripada Srivallabha Charitamrutam is held in high esteem as a sacred book by all gods, rishis, and great people. This treatise was written on the command of Sripada. No one has the freedom to change even one letter in this. This is with us for many generations. Sripada's command is that the ruined copy of this must be immersed in the Ganges River. We have been protecting it from many generations. Without Sripada's command, we do not reveal, even to a great person, the fact that a treatise like this exists. You seem to wish changing certain parts in this Charitamrutam. We belong to the family who feel the touch of Sripada's feet when we put our hands on this treatise. If you are greater than Sripada, your order is binding on us. You are in the attire of a sannyasi. We are householders. We cannot dare to oppose you. If you can take this coconut to D. Sila Nagaram, I will give this palmyra leaf copy to you discard my holy thread, and declare myself as an untouchable. You say that the Muslim fakir knew about the Nanda Deepams. You also say that it is D. Sila Nagaram only, and that in due course it acquires the name Sheila D. Nagaram. An Avaduta in our family told me recently that he found a partial manifestation of Sri Dattatreya in Aurangabad, and that he took him to D. Sila Nagaram. Even if you go to Kuruvapuram, you cannot install Sripada's padukas there. Kuruvapuram is an anthill of people like quarreling poisonous snakes. They spend time in vain arguments and counter-arguments and unnecessary disputes, but have no spiritual aspirations. If you install Sripada's padukas in the house of our ancestors, it will be a happy thing for us. But you should have to get the grace of Sripada completely. Without the will of Sripada, not even one leaf on a tree will move. Our family does not need the name and fame, titles or honors given by ordinary people. We believe that Sripada will be moving as a small boy incognito in our house. Swami, this is what I saw in meditation 1. Palaniswami said, "My dear children, that Veda Pandit belongs to the descendants of Sripada's maternal uncle. In their families, they feel Sripada as an incognito small boy. If anyone belonging to any caste, any race, any religion, any country, in any age, feels Sripada as a divine child and has Vatsalya Bhakti, Sri Vallabha will be living in their house as a boy incognito. This was revealed by Sripada himself in Kuruvapuram. Sri Charana was born in his maternal grandfather's house in Kuruvapuram. The people in that family migrated to other villages some years after Sri Vallabha left Kuruvapuram. His family members also similarly migrated to other places. Sripada transferred his power completely into the Muslim fakir of Disila Nagaram IV in later years. In Bengal, a great person by the name of Gadadhar V was born. He would worship Kalakamba VI. When he prayed for liberation, Jagat Janani VII did not agree. She asked him to take birth again for the sake of his followers, and to grace them, considering their merits and sins. He did not agree to take birth again. Then, Kalakamba VIII asked the Muslim fakir of Disila Nagaram to come to her with his subtle body. That Muslim fakir remained dead for 3 days. He told his devotees, "I will go to Allah and come back within 3 days." Kalakamba is none other than Vasavi Kanyaka Parameswari, present in Brihat Sila Nagaram. This Muslim fakir was given the task of looking into the sins and merits of the followers of Gadadhar. Jagat Janani deposited part of herself in him. Sri Vallabha also deposited part of himself in him. After 3 days, when that Muslim fakir came back into his gross body, he became the most powerful one. He served the masjid in which he lived as the mother. It was because of the Emsa, one of the Divine Mother, entering into him. So he showed motherly affection towards his devotees. My dear, all these things I am narrating will be happening in the coming centuries. The Veda Pandit seen in meditation, too, had a Vaishya as his dear friend. That Vaishya prayed to the Avaduta, who was wearing a loincloth. 3. Swami, please accept our hospitality. We are Arya Vaishyas. Jagat Janani, Vāsavāmbika Kanyakambika was born in our caste. You please take the food materials and cook yourself. The Veda Pandit also prayed for the Yati to accept the great Vaishya's invitation. But the Yati, who was a Brahmin formalist, told him curtly that he would not accept the offered food materials as alms. 5. This incident angered Sri Vallabha and Sri Vāsavāmbika as well. They wanted to punish Avaduta in order to remove the pride of his Brahmin birth. The Avaduta reached Kuruvapuram. The Brahmin community of Kuruvapuram, who gave importance to customs and practice of external worship, grandly welcomed that Avaduta. Sripada Sri Vallabha's maternal grandfather's house went into the hands of outsiders. After consulting the house owner, it was decided to install the Sri Padukas in the place where Sripada was born in that house. Silver Padukas were installed in accordance with the scriptures. 6. During the midnight hours, a thief entered that house. The house owner was also awake. The thief entered the room where the Padukas were installed. The house owner told the thief, "I have no belief at all that Sripada Sri Vallabha was a great avatar." 7. I do not have any belief in this Avaduta. You can take away these silver Padukas and give me half of the amount you get when you sell them. The thief said, "All right." On the next day, the Padukas were not seen. The Avaduta felt sorrow. Silver Padukas were installed a second time. Worship was done grandly. During the midnight hours, the Avaduta stayed in the same room near the Padukas. He was chanting sacred verses on Datta. As he was looking, the padukas rose into the air, hit hard on the head of the Avaduta, and disappeared. The voice of Sri Charana was heard. I can make my body disappear. Can I not make these padukas disappear? If the coconut had reached Disila Nagaram, my maternal uncle would have to fulfill his hard oath. That is not agreeable to me. The coconut you sent was eaten away on the way, so there is no way you can be given the treatise, Sripada Srivalabha Charitamrutam. Who do you think I am? I don't care whether you are a yogi or bogi. I am a madiga. My profession is to remove the skin and make chappals out of it. There is no sin even if I remove your skin and make chappals. The voice roared. The Avaduta shivered. On the next day, a great commotion occurred. Those who greatly honored him blamed him as a cheating sannyasi who stole the silver padukas for want of money. They demanded him to explain how the silver padukas disappeared when he himself was in the puja room. With the heaviness of insult, the yati left Pithikapuram. Palaniswami told us that this was going to happen in the future. He said, "My dears, there are many unbelievable leelas in the history of Sripada. If anybody doubts or criticizes his history, he will become a Brahma Rakshasa." Sri Vallabha made the people of Pithikapura doubt the sincerity of the Avaduta, because the Avaduta doubted the authenticity of the Charitamritam. This was his leela. Madhava asked, "Swami, shall I tell about the event of my visit to Pithikapuram with my subtle body and the incidents that happened there?" Sri Palaniswami agreed. Madhava said, "I reached a house in Pithikapuram with my subtle body. At one place, I noticed that all my powers were being attracted by two divine padukas staying incognito." Sri Palaniswami said, "Madhava, the house which you visited is the house of the maternal grandfather of Sripada Srivala and is the birthplace of Sripada Srivala. It has attracted all your powers. In the patala, below the padukas, there are hermits doing penance from several hundreds of years. Sripada Srivala padukas will be installed only in the birthplace of Sripada Srivala. After some years from the installation of the pious padukas there, the Sripada Srivala Charitamrutam comes to light effortlessly. In the place where you meditated, the idols of Sripada Srivala, Sri Dattatreya, and his next incarnation, Sri Narasimha Saraswati, will be installed. Afterwards, many divine sportive plays will take place in that place 3. After that, Sri Palaniswami became silent. He asked the corpse of the youth buried near our cave to be exhumed. He began to chant the pranava, Om, after the body was taken out. Vyagraswara Sarma came there with the loud roar of Sripada Rajam Saranam Prapadye. 4. Sri Palaniswami entered into the body of the young man. Vyagraswara Sarma, who was in the body of a tiger, took away the body of Sri Palaniswami, which decayed with age, to throw it into a nearby river. Palaniswami, who entered the new body, ordered, "Leave this place immediately. My dear Madhava, go to your Vichitrapuram. You saw the pious people of Pithikapuram in your subtle body. That is enough for you for this life. My dear Shankara, go to the great place Tirupati. Madhava, may the grace of Sripada Srivalabha be showered on you." Then Madhava went towards Vichitrapuram, and I went towards Tirupati. Where is the end to the divine sportive plays of Sripada Srivalabha?